Okay, so I'm just getting everything set up here. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for coming to Hangout. It's going to be a quirky day today, just letting you know in advance. So I'm going to put up a couple of notes here. I'm going to make an astrodoodle for the day, so give me some time here, and we will get to it. All right. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for coming to hang out here. This is Lumination. It is roughly noon, 12 p.m. over here in sunny Las Vegas. It's kind of strange. A couple of days ago, it was about 114 degrees here. That's about, 45 degrees Celsius. And now it's dropped down to 82, which is about 26 degrees. So that's a huge drop. Anyway, kind of strange, freakish weather. Anyway, I'm just going to go back to the astrodoodle, okay, over there, and get that set up and ready for the day. As you've probably figured out, this is a very strange little moment in history for the planet Earth. I think Nikki already touched on the subject of strange things with retrogrades and everything, for sure. Hello, Star Girl. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Love Triber. Hello, hello, hello. All right, let's see. Give me a second here. I want to get back to the astrodoodle for the day. Excuse me, my paper is misbehaving. And over here, Aquarius. So this is just a doodle for planet Earth and for everybody. And, you know, it's it's the same energy, but we all handle it and deal with it in different ways. There's the collective energy, which is affecting the whole of planet Earth as one entity. And then there's the individual energy as it affects you, the person. So I'm just going to write out the generic stuff for now, okay? So give me a second. I'll be there any minute. Yes, let's have a look. So, right now at this time, as you know, we have the usual suspects over here. Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. I think of these right now as the reality check police doing their heavy, heavy duty business on planet Earth, shaking up reality, bringing hard, cold truth to reality, holding humanity accountable, destroying and pulverizing anything and everything that doesn't work, and watch the rats leaving the ship, watch everybody squirming who can't handle it. And then the Jupiter in Capricorn, which is going to be flipping direct this very, very soon. It's finished its last couple of months of being retrograde. It's going to go direct. Over here we've got Neptune still swirling away in fuzzy wuzzy Pisces, directly opposed to the Sun today. So that's quite our hard energy to handle. I'll go to that in just a second. Mercury's over here in Libra. And we got poor Chiron over here. I think there's a lot of self-esteem issues going on here for the planet. Mars is over here in Aries. Uranus is hanging out right over here around 10 degrees in Taurus. The moon right now is in Gemini. Okay? And Venus is already moved into Leo. Okay? So those are the basics. I'm not going to do anything more. I'll just highlight a couple of hot spots for you. And, hopefully some of the sweet spots as well. Let me find my green pen. Okay, so you're familiar with the color coding. This is really tough at the moment. Okay, we have that. And we have this is really challenging at the moment. We have all of that. So, actually, there's a little bit of a challenge here. I might as well put it on there. So what's happening right now is dear old Mars, as you know, it's been here for months already. And it is retrograde. It just started basically today. And Mars is the planet of action, of doing, of getting stuff done. And it does not like anything to get in its way. Mars in Aries is a very strong energy of I'm going to do what I have to do in what a way that is right for me. And everybody has different, interpretations of what is right and what are their rights. And so many months ago, I predicted that we would see a lot of violence in the United States and probably across the world. Extreme violence, outbreaks everywhere, especially in the United States, especially in China. And that is happening right now, is still happening. And we've reached almost the end of the Mars and Aries journey, but it's going to go back for a while. So it's going to be here for months. So we're going to see continued repeated violence, and America is going to be doing a lot of self-examination about why is this happening in our country today. I don't know if some of you noticed, Love Triber did me a huge favor and showed me all these incredible videos from across the world. These videos are not being broadcast or shown inside the United States in any way, shape, or form, except through this kind of rebel Facebook page. But what it shows is that all across the world, there are massive, massive protests. The energy of anger, okay? Mars in Aries is very, very angry right now, going against the establishment. If you look at the shadow side of this energy here, this represents the corporatocracy, the plutocracy, the oligarchs, the corporations, the federal governments, the central banks, the Federal Reserve, all these very, very large, powerful institutions, governmental institutions that are determined to retain and maintain their power, and they're acting in very, very oppressive ways, okay? There are a lot of people who don't like that, so they are protesting all over the world. Hundreds of thousands of people in big cities all over the world are protesting against this energy. Now, the beautiful side of this energy is that we are getting a complete planetary reboot. It started in January 2020. It was building up 2019, and it's going to go on for the next few years. But right now, we are at the crunch point of where everybody on Earth is feeling that energy of like, oh my God, this is a complete planetary reboot. And it is true. We haven't seen an astrological alignment like this in thousands of years. Certainly not in my studies of recorded human history over the last 3,000 years. I've not seen anything like this, okay? So this is monumental, it's historical, and today we are all living in this moment in time. We have 7.5 billion people on Earth governed by a handful of people in very high places. And there's an extreme imbalance of power, and that imbalance of power is being challenged by the common person over here. In a few months, over the next few months for the rest of this year of 2020, it's going to be very turbulent, okay? Right now, let me put some nice sweet things. Let me just put some, hey Nikki, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so just so happens that we have a nice sweet spot going on here between all the Virgo and Capricorn, the Virgo Sun and the Capricorn stuff, and also between the Taurus stuff over here. Now, if you want to stretch it, we can go like this. Can you see that this is a big fat green earth trine? This is very stabilizing for the whole of planet Earth. This is very stabilizing for every single individual on Earth if you're aware of it and you want to take advantage of it. Okay, so you might as well. It's there for the asking. So it's a little bit loose. I'm stretching the astrology here a little bit, but you know, that's my right. I can do that if I want to. I feel it's okay to do that. There are some other more obscure aspects going on here. There's a very powerful yod going on. Sorry, a very powerful quincunx going on over here. With the North Node, excuse me, I just want to put that in. Okay, the North Node is over here in Gemini, so that's where it's forcing everybody here on Earth to take care of our day-to-day business, our day-to-day lives in a very kind of thorough, I don't know if you can see that. No, you probably can't see that. I'll just put it as a different color. I'll put it as yellow. Okay, so that's telling... It's very awkward energy. It's making everybody on Earth feel awkward about what is our destiny, where are we heading, how are we going to do this. My personal feeling is that it's a lot of big questions happening in terms of global finance. People starting to feel on a massive global scale that there's massive disparity between the oligarchs and the rulers and the people who manipulate and control the global markets for food, money, water, energy, transportation. They want things to go a certain way, but the common people feel like it should be another way. So there's this very awkward energy going on here. So it's sort of... I guess I'm just going to leave it at that. There's other aspects going on here, but I'm just going to focus on these for now. There's give me this one. I'll give you this one. This is harmonious. This helps. Okay? And there's a little bit of this. This helps too. But in general, what I'm focusing on is the big red ones here and the big green triangle. So let me go to another couple of things. Sorry, I just want to connect with all of you visually. Give me a sec. Hello, Star Girl. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Let me say thank you personally. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Stargirl. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. We're having a general sort of chit-chat around the Planetary Reboot today. We're in a very sort of short time crunch window at the moment, from roughly the early part of September up until the middle of September. We're going through a real crunch point where there are see if I can do six planets retrograde simultaneously. That's pretty rare. When you have 6 planets, not visible, but 6 noted planets all retrograde. So we've got Mars, it just flips today, and we got Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So that's a humongous amount of retrogrades. That's a tremendous amount of hurry up and wait. It's like, oh, wait a minute. So there's a tremendous amount of humanity which wants to live just like a plant. We're like plants. We just want to grow and live and thrive and prosper. But the retrogrades energies are kind of like impediments that force each and every one of us. It's forcing humanity to totally re-examine itself. I mean, I don't have enough time or energy or wisdom to talk about what this really means. I mean, if you want to examine each one, what does it mean for Mars retrograde? What does it mean for Jupiter retrograde? Jupiter's going to flip, by the way, in a few days. Saturn retrograde. Think of the planets and what they mean, and then I guess the easiest way to describe it is a lot of people here or who watch these kind of channels, they've all heard about Mercury retrograde and it's so scary because my credit card's going to stop working, or somebody's going to steal all my emails, or my bank account's going to get hacked, or my computer's going to blow up. And those are all the things that you see all over the internet about Mercury retrograde, and that's fine. And the thing about Mercury is that it's very close to us. Mercury and Sun typically move very close together in the heavens. And so when Mercury goes retrograde, it's just like everybody goes, hello. Wait a minute. Hello, what was I saying? Oh, hi. Oh, wait. Sorry, I meant to send that email to you. Oops. I shouldn't have sent that to you because I meant to send it over here. I'm so sorry. And then, past due payments on credit cards start coming in. All sorts of things that upset people. Anyway, who's that? Brittany Sanderson. Hello, Brittany Sanderson. Hello, y'all. Wow, I keep missing the live sessions. Happy to catch you streaming, TL. Thank you, Brittany. You're at work. Shh, don't tell anybody. You're on a lunch break. You look forward to the planetary updates. Okay, well, I'll try and convey a little bit of a story right now. Or put it in story, well, not even story form. But anyway, so Mars is going retrograde right now. So if you think of Mars as the planet of action and doing, let's get stuff done. I gotta wake up. I got a job to go to. I got stuff to do, people to see, places to go, things to do. And I have to succeed at getting that done, especially with Mars in Aries, okay? Anyone with a very strong Aries profile might be feeling this. Or anybody with the planet Mars strongly aspected. Doesn't matter what the signs are. If Mars is strongly aspected, wherever it is in your chart, whatever sign it is, if it's very strongly aspected, like a conjunction or a stellium or a hard opposition or a hard T-square, you're going to feel this. In my personal self, what happened for myself is about the 4 days before Mars actually went stationary to the point where it looks as though it's standing still, then it goes back into apparent reverse. My whole body kind of imploded, started collapsing like, oh, I got to really do important things. And oh, sorry, what was that? It's that kind of energy. And for the last 4 nights in a row, I went to bed at sort of a regular hour, but I would sleep for 10, 11, 12 hours. Sometimes for the first 3 nights, 8 hours, 10 hours straight through, no pee breaks, nothing. Okay? Just blackout sleep, no dreams. And that went on for about three or four nights. And now I'm getting kind of back to normal. My body's adapting to the fact that we are now actually at the stationary point. And so I've already adapted to Mars retrograde. So I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm not going to let myself be undermined by all the retrogrades. This is an incredibly good time to do a huge amounts of homework on yourself, your motivations. What is driving you and why do you feel driven to do this? That's Mars. Jupiter, where are the good things going on in your life? Where have you felt denied? Where have you felt impeded or unlucky or miserable or cheated or screwed over? You've had to live through that for months, but now it's going forward. You might feel a sense of relief, like, oh my gosh, I feel a bit more hopeful now. Then Saturn, like the planet of restriction, the planet of karma, the planet of lessons and pressure, like the really tough school teacher who's making you do your homework to get it right so that you can have a chance to mature and grow up and thrive. So Saturn wants to be your friend. It really helps to have Saturn as your friend. You do not want Saturn as your enemy. It'll come and kick you in the derriere. So Saturn is retrograde. So it's forcing you, wherever Saturn lies in your chart, I'm not even worried about the signs right now. I'm just thinking of the planets themselves. Wherever Saturn lies in your chart, whatever sign it is, however it's aspected, Saturn is putting pressure on you to basically go back through all the lessons and the karma and the homework that you know you should have done, but you also know that you missed or forgot. Think of it as like a big test exam, and you've gone through all the easy questions and you've answered them all right, but you still have 30% of your questions to pass the grades that are not answered. And so it's very scary. You have to go back and review those challenges, and you have to go dig deep to come up with solid answers before you can hand in your test paper. So Saturn's putting a lot of pressure there. Saturn in Capricorn is putting a lot of pressure on global finances, global businesses, global corporations, how to get their act together to behave responsibly. Because a lot of business, finance, corporations, and corporate leaders and government leaders have been behaving very irresponsibly for the last 30 years, okay? Think of roughly Saturn in Capricorn from roughly 29 years ago, okay? There's a lot of stuff that happened, started about 30 years ago, and now we are being called for a reckoning, and it's ugly. It's really, really ugly, okay? Saturn, go to Uranus, okay? Uranus is retrograde in Taurus right now, and it's going to be there for still a little while. So think of Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is the money sign. It's the sign of like money, wealth, your talents, your gifts, your resources, how you make your money, how you earn money. What is money? What is the value of money? And it is being bounced around and knocked around. Uranus in Taurus is completely shaking up the financial world for the whole of planet Earth. Everything, everywhere. The banking system, the corporations, the small regional local banks, paper money, metal money, your credit cards, your debit cards, your college is trying to break up, to crack open the stagnant, putrid, rotten elements in the global financial system that need to be broken up. And if you think of Uranus, it has an 84-year cycle. So if you switch back about 84 years to the 1920s, is that 1920s? I'm not very good at math. 1940, yeah, I guess about 1935, in the middle of the Great Depression, okay? Okay, 84 years ago, on the last, Uranus loop, where Uranus was in Taurus, there were huge upheavals financially at that time. It was very much around the time of the Great Depression in the United States, which had ramifications all over the world. So look what's happening today. Huge shakeups in global finances. It's happening to America, China, Europe, everywhere. It's on a much bigger scale than it was 84 years ago, 85, 80, 90 years ago. Coincidence. This is all sacred geometry. They move around with extreme precision. NASA, as you know, they know all about this stuff. They track all the planets and the movements of the planets and the gravitational pull of the planets because they have to, because that's how they calculate their space missions to move to Mars, to Pluto, to Eris, Saturn, all of it. It's all done with math, so it's very precise. Okay, so that's Uranus and Taurus. Uranus. Go to Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces right now, so it's just like, whoo-hoo! The planet of Neptune is just, it's about being connected to heaven. It's about the beauty of being in direct connection with the divine. You can't get more divine than Neptune in Pisces right now. But the shadow side, the flip side of it, every planetary energy has a positive and negative expression. The Neptune energy is so hard to handle. It's so hard to understand until you come to terms with it. And even when you do come to terms with it, it's still hard to understand. So Neptune on the shadowy side, instead of thinking of like art, music, imagination, the connection to heaven, divinity, the understanding of universal love, the understanding that we are all one. We are all made of stardust. We're made of carbon, nitrogen, potassium, calcium, phosphates, water, all of that stuff. We're all the same thing, But at the same time, we're highly individuated. Each one of us is unique in our own bizarre way. And so Neptune in Pisces kind of blurs all this stuff up. Now, right now in the heavens, we've got Neptune opposite the sun. So the sun is very clear. There's no ambiguity with the sun. The sun is right there in your face, okay? Neptune dissolves. Neptune dissolves. Neptune, it's like it rules the movie business, the music business. It rules art. It's the energy of illusions, the energy of, let's say, delusion, the energy of deception, lies, betrayal, deceit. It's the in the astrodoodles, it rules the 12th house. And that's the house of self-undoing. It's also the house of, graceful surrender to everything that is. But it's also, in day-to-day terms, it's the house where it's the kitchen drawer. It's the dumpster out back. It's the place where we shove all of our unresolved, unrequited, let's say, activities or experiences in our life. And it's associated with like self-medication, drugs, alcoholism, abuse, imprisonment, schizophrenia, lying, cheating, deceiving. And that can be on a personal level, like when you're dating someone, or it can go right up to the top of the financial world, the global infrastructure of money. It's being exposed right now. It's become evident right now. Pretty much everywhere across the world in the last 8 months has become aware that the global financial system is a massive, massive fraudulent optical illusion created by people who figured out how to get away with it. Nobody questioned them. It's very, very simple. It's not much different from an adult male or an adult female, either way, taking advantage of a little child and abusing that child. And they do it because they can. And it's so satisfying. Look, I can take this pure innocent creature and I can totally destroy their lives just by a few disgusting, perverse activities. And once you've done that, you've destroyed their soul and you realize, wow, I can do that again. It's a really fun way to take complete command and control over a lot of people. It's basically fraud. And so that's what's happening right now. The massive, massive collective fraud that is happening across planet Earth, especially with the global financial system, is being exposed. The opposition, Sun opposite Neptune, today, right now, it's clear. The news is everywhere. Doesn't matter what country you're in. So long as you have access to a small smartphone and you're concerned about money, then you are aware that there's something very smelly, fishy going on here. And a lot of people don't like it. Okay, it's terrifying to consider the idea that all your work, your sweat, your equity, your good intentions, your beliefs in how humanity works have been screwed over, and you have been betrayed, pulverized, abused, and it's just squalid. So, go back to Pluto retrograde. Pluto is kind of like, okay, so, what's going on here, planet Earth? Okay, it looks like a shitstorm out there. You know what? Pluto and Capricorn, we're talking business here. Let's have a look. Okay. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Okay, they're all doing their thing. That's great. But somebody, some way, somehow has to be held accountable. You know what? Let's get this over with. Let's get this show on the road. I'm just going to pulverize and crush anything and everything that is out of alignment, okay? I'm sorry, people. Whatever has not been, let's say, integrated or absorbed or learned or understand by humanity over the last, let's say, 30 years, or let's say the last 250 years, let's make it big, okay? The Pluto cycle, 250 years, go back to 1776, hint, hint, the United States of America, hint, hint, 4th of July, 1776, and here we are, 2020. It's a Pluto cycle. We're reaching the very, very tippy end of a Pluto cycle. And Pluto is like, you know what, humanity, it's just like, I'm done with this. Like, you've overpopulated yourself because you can. Yes, sex is fun, and it's great to prove yourself by having babies, but there's a flip side to that. If there's too many people and you start pooping in your nest, things get ugly. We got pollution, man. We got water pollution, air pollution, ocean pollution, land pollution. You're screwing up the planet, people. And so Pluto's like, you know what? We're just going to do this. We're just going to whatever it is, okay? Let's work together with Neptune and Uranus. We're going to go big. We're going to go ugly. We're going to go mean. We're just going to pulverize. So if you think of Pluto as just like a really heavy bulldozer, and it just grinds back and forth, just crushing, destroying anything and everything that is gradually becoming obsolete and irrelevant. Mix that in with some of the other planetary actors, and you get explosive situations. For example, when Pluto was first discovered scientifically around 1930, guess what happened? It triggered this amazing race that led up to World War II, where the amount of human obliteration, violence, evil was perpetrated, just complete abuse of power. We had nuclear power and we just decided we can just destroy millions of lives. Hitler went berserk. He destroyed, tens, 20, 30 million people. And it's very, very addictive. Pluto is very closely related to power. Power, power, power. Any form of power. That's the point. Any form. Wholesome, responsible use of power or unwholesome abuse of power. That's the thing about Pluto. That's what's so scary about Pluto. is that it kind of doesn't really care. It just is what it is. It's how you handle your Pluto energy. How do you handle the Pluto energy in your chart? Since Pluto is the farthest away, in my opinion, it's the hardest energy to integrate because it represents the deepest part of the soul. Neptune's very, very hard because it's so hard to understand, but Pluto is actually harder simply because it's so remote. So let's say, for example, if you're born with very harmonious alignments like big fat trines or something to Pluto, the chances are you've lived previous lifetimes where you've done huge amounts of work on self-development, self-love, love thyself. If you're born in this lifetime with very heavy conflicts to Pluto, like a square or a T-square, then it is an indication that you've got stuff to do in this lifetime that represents something big, to do with power, your use of power or the abuse of power, or coming to understand your own power. And sometimes those lessons are learned in very, very ugly, hard ways in order to learn them, because sometimes we don't learn things unless it's just pounded into us, you know? Duh. I don't know what your school experiences were like, but I've had some very joyful times and very tragic times. But anyway, so I was trying to go through all that stuff about the retrogrades right now. So that's kind of why I'm ranting so much about the retrogrades, because it's very rare that we have 6 planets retrograde simultaneously. It's only going to be going technically for about a week or so, because eventually Jupiter's turning direct in a few days. So that's a little bit of relief. I mean, whoopee, wahoo. So, but in the meantime, right now, we're looking at least a week where there's 6 planets retrograde. So what do? Take advantage of that stuff, you know? If you're feeling really oppressed, if you're feeling really lost, confused, terrified, frightened, undermined, really like scared deep in your soul, it's okay. It's okay. It would be perfectly understandable under these circumstances, okay? All of that stuff up there, let me go to the chart, hold on. Sorry, I'm ranting a bit, I can't help it. Okay, let me go back to this for a moment. See all this stuff here? I see this as the global reality check police doing their job. And it's really, really ugly. You can see what's happening on planet Earth. You can see what's happening with China, with the Middle East, with Western Europe, with Russia, with Central and South America. All of those places, everywhere on Earth is affected by this stuff. We had there's been some really scary news in Australia. You know, Australia, the governing parties in Australia and the police forces, the military, they're acting like freaking communists from China. They're pushing their people around without any, concern or respect for the population itself. They're behaving like China. The reality is that Australia is deeply bound to China in terms of economic trade. And Australia has been very contaminated by Chinese influences. The other day, this is really scary. Did you see that? The other day, Love Triber pointed this out to me. New Zealand sent a ship full of 5,500 cows over, I think, heading over to Taiwan so that they can eat some beef. And a little while out, somewhere here in the ocean, the ship just disappeared. Okay? It's very, very hard for a huge cargo ship to just disappear with no warning signs, nothing. I don't know what the explanation is, but it's gone. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's food sabotage. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent now. I'm just going to keep going. I have my little list. Here's my list of stuff, okay? Here's my list of stuff. I'm hoping I can chat about these things today. But I'll try and check them off as we go. Okay, I've done Mars retrograde. Thank you very much. So there's a lot of what I think of as food terrorism going on right now. Some of you might have heard about all these oligarchs over here. Sorry. All the the globalists who operate over here. It's an extremely small group of very elite people. You can think, I'm not going to name names, but you kind of can imagine who they are. They are very big, powerful corporate and government entities who want to take complete command and control of planet Earth, just like the way they do in China with the Communist Party, the CCP. There are certain people who are drooling, absolutely drooling at the idea of having the chance to become like the CCP, where we can have complete command and control of planet Earth, like a total communist totalitarian state, Marxism, Leninism for everybody. And that is what's happening in China right now. And a lot of people in America, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, they're very interested in having that, because the people who are interested in that love the idea of having absolute power. It's just like being a professional adult child abuser. If you are into that kind of stuff, if you're into those kind of perversions, there's nothing more delicious and satisfying than abusing an innocent child. That's basically what they do over here to their whole population. There's plenty of people over here who are addicted to that BS, and they want to be like that. And the United States, just like Australia, the United States is heavily, heavily contaminated by a very sick relationship between China and America. We are paying for this right now. The debt farm, the United States debt farm, is heavily, deeply wedded to the China slave camp. And it's very hard to separate these two, but they are going to start separating. And it's basically like an ugly marriage that looks glorious on the outside, but it's starting to fall apart. And all the ugly stuff is starting to show up. This is a very abusive partner over here. And this is a very wealthy partner who has abused its own home and family. So there's a lot of sick stuff being exposed by the reality check police. Okay? It's a lot of exposure here right now. This is on a global scale, the exposure of the sickness of humanity that we have allowed and that we have perpetrated on ourselves and each other. Basically, we the people have allowed the people who have power to abuse us, and now it's time for us to hold them accountable. And that's starting to happen. Okay? There's 360 million people in China who've signed a live petition, quit the CCP. There are a lot of people uprising in America right now who are basically saying, we're sick of communist influences inside America. We want our country back. We want our Constitution back. So please understand, over the next 6 months, 4 months, there's going to be a lot of grinding upheaval, especially around the time of November 3rd and the general election over here. Please allow for that. Okay. Let me go back to my notes here so I don't get too random. Okay, so let me have a look. Okay. I wanted to mention a couple things about the financial charts. I'm very curious about money, mostly because I don't have that much money, and I'm one of these people, I'd like to have more money than I do have. I don't know how to earn it, I don't know how to make it, but I'm very interested, and as you know, I wrote a book about this stuff. So anyway, I like to check the charts, things like the gold spot charts. I like to look at the Dow Jones charts. I like to look at charts for individual corporations. I like to look at currency charts, the way one currency is behaving against another currency across the world. And right now, with these particular aspects, I don't know if you noticed it, but I really felt it as we were coming into the period of Mars retrograde. I felt a tremendous diminishment of energy on a global scale, and I knew that it would show up in the financial charts, and lo and behold, it did. There was a 3-week lull, a 3-day lull in the United States, and that led us to Tuesday morning, and I knew that on Friday night the charts were going to go crazy for the Dow Jones way up here, which would make the gold charts go like this. And I knew that was fake, overblown, extreme, and I knew that I would wake up on Tuesday morning. It's now Wednesday. I'd wake up on Tuesday morning and I would see radical shifts in the charts. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Gold went down to $1,910. And then within 4 hours, it shot up to $1,940. That's mind-boggling. And at the same time, the Dow crashed, okay? And then, now it's starting to pick up again. But these are the kind of jolts that we're talking about. Uranus in Taurus, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter in Capricorn, and Virgo, Sun over here. It's very much about earthliness, and we're seeing the discrepancies and the flaws and everything that's wrong in the markets. A lot of you might be interested to know that the American stock markets are heavily distorted. There's a lot of fake BS in the markets right now because the U.S. Federal Reserve is literally printing money to infinity because they don't know what else to do. I don't know if you've heard rumors, but you can look on YouTube in all sorts of ways, but there are people who are prophesying, just like I'm doing here, a planetary reboot. The biggest planetary reboot is going to be felt in the global financial system, the corporatocracy, the reserve central banks, the governments, the politics of these countries. Global planetary reboots. The way we're going to feel it the most is in money and banking. Money and banking, banking money, banking and business on a global scale. So that is what's happening right now. But for the good stuff to happen, the reality check police, especially Pluto, is going through a relentless grinding, pulverization, destruction of anything and everything that does not work. In other words, the U.S. Federal Reserve fraudulent system is systematically being exposed for the massive fraudsters that they are. And we all bought it because we didn't know. We're too dumb. We're the dumb money. We're innocent. We got screwed over by the smart money, okay? The smart money figured out, wow, we can really take advantage of the dumb money. So that's what they've done. That's what they've been doing for 84 years. But now we're back to this point where there is a reckoning. And the reckoning is all about the truth police, okay? Jupiter in Capricorn, Jupiter all about truth. Truth in business, Capricorn business. And Jupiter has been calling it out for months now. Jupiter retrograde. We want truth in money. We want honest money. We, the people, want honest money. We're sick of fake money, fake government, fake. We're sick of this. We want to do the work to change things, okay? Hello, Ivona, I see you. So, let me go on over here. Okay, regarding the financial charts all over the world, they're going crazy. They're going haywire. The currencies, the stock markets, gold, silver, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, they're going absolutely berserk right now. Everyone's trying to understand what's happening. Okay, well, I just wanted to mention that. Okay. The next thing I wanted to mention was food processing, food crisis, okay? I'm going to put this over here, this mark here, and over here, food crisis. They're both basically connected. The food crisis and the food processing crises are both connected. I don't know if you've noticed or seen recently, but there are these what I considered manufactured food crises happening across planet Earth right now. You can say that, I would say, some people like the conspiracy theorists would say, it's very easy to say, it's all being manufactured and contrived by these massive globalists, especially the people who are in alignment with global totalitarianism, hint, 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 hint. What they're trying to do, hint, hint, in collusion with here, hint, hint, and some of the hardcore lefties over here, they're trying to create a global food crisis in order to scare the poop out of humanity so that they submit to the oligarchs and the dictators and the plutocrats and the communists, okay? It's all, if you're a real ardent conspiracy theorist, it's very easy to connect the dots between the global food crises and the CCP Communist Manifesto. It is all one thing, okay? So you go over here, have you noticed, these bizarre events where massive corn silos in the middle of America are exploding for no particular reason? Huge corn trains are just suddenly falling off their tracks for no reason. Massive sugar storage plants are exploding for no apparent reason. Grain storage plants in Lebanon exploded for no apparent reason. I personally see it as food terrorism, okay? Food crisis terrorism. It's all being, I would say, arranged by these folks and their globalist counterparts in the form of global food terrorism conducted mostly by arson, burning things down, blowing things up to scare people, and then that gives them an excuse to create these very important looking news broadcasts like, "Hello everybody, this is the news. Hello. Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the news. I am an extremely important globalist. I have a lot of letters after my name. ABC, MD, DPH, PhD. And I'm very, very high up in a government position in office. And I wear a suit all day. And millions of people have seen me and look at me. And I'm very, very important. And I just want to let you know that there is a massive global food crisis. And you could die any minute now. Okay? Because food is not trustworthy anymore. You can be contaminated at any moment. And by the way, food and animals are the primary cause of disease. Okay? So we're just letting you know, we're going to take over. Don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. We are going to corporatize food on a scale that you've never seen before. Food will be perfect. It will be pure. It will be manufactured in huge operation plants where everything is organized according to our amazing new plans. We have proved through science that we know better than you about what is good for you to eat. So that's what we're going to do. And it has to happen now because, as you've noticed, there's a massive global food crisis. Okay? So there you go. I'm sorry if you starve. Okay? What do you expect if you don't listen to me? I told you. So that's kind of the stuff that's happening there. Let me go back over here. So it's happening, people. I think of it all as part of the globalists and their, I would say, evil counterparts who are trying to corporatize food on another level that we've never seen before. And of course, the counterparties to that are the folks who want to grow their own gardens, grow their own food, have communities, have shelter. How do you deal with all these globalists? How do you deal with these highly abusive governments and banks and corporations who want complete command and control of over your life so that they can benefit in terms of things called money? So there's a lady called Lynette Zan, and she, like many others, is concerned. So she's interested in things like, somebody talked to her the other day, and they said, well, hey, Lynette, what would you do in this situation with everything that's happening on Earth right now? And she said, well, number one, protect yourself, protect your money, protect your privacy, protect your assets, protect your talents, your gifts, your resources, your loved ones. Hold on to your money. Make sure you own hard assets. Get out of debt. See if you can plant a garden. See if you can make friends with a community of like-minded souls where you all support each other. Do as much as you can to go off the grid and yet still maintain legal parity with the grid. And mind your own business, okay? Don't listen to all this fake BS out there. Love Tribe just mentioned seeds are being banned. There's, as you know, one of the most powerful ways that corporations and governments and evil dictatorships, communist dictatorships, one of the most effective and powerful ways that they can take control over we the people is through seeds. Yep, seeds. How benign is that? Mostly when you think of warfare, you think of guns, bullets, nuclear bombs, aircraft carriers, jets, soldiers, guns, bullets, and all of that stuff. But one of the most powerful weapons is the restriction of seeds. Seeds for corn, wheat, soy, vegetables, fruits, rice. Just imagine that. Think about Monsanto in America. They control all of that. It's illegal to buy crop seeds outside of Monsanto in America. And now there are corporate movements all through the world, the world globalists who are trying to control the world through food. They're trying to basically ban seeds. And Love Triber showed me how even on Amazon right now, inside America over here, Amazon has now officially banned the selling and buying of seeds. There you go. And that's because somebody told Amazon to do that. Okay? I wonder who told Amazon to do that. So, the next thing I noticed, this was something thanks to Love Triber. I was informed about this, and when I saw it, I thought it was pretty shocking. I was shown these videos about these peaceful protests all over the world. Everywhere you can imagine. Australia, New Zealand, the South Pacific, Japan, parts of Africa, many places in Western Europe, Russia, Eastern Europe, places in Central and South America. They're all protesting peacefully against the mask, against the global terrorists, the shadow side of these people here. They're basically saying, you know what? We're sick of the scam-demic. We are sick of the scam-demic. Because a lot of you probably feel, sort of like I do, and probably other people, that this whole thing is manufactured. This whole China virus, I look at it as the China virus, is manufactured as a weapon. The same way that food has been weaponized across the world, a virus was weaponized, and people are sick of it. Okay? They're basically saying enough is enough. People are going to die anyway. We don't want to be told what to do. Just imagine being in Australia right now. If you go out in public in the street and you live in Australia, the chances are you're going to be attacked and beaten to the ground by an Australian police officer for not wearing a mask. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Okay, let's just say you're a big biker and you went to the Sturgis rally over here, okay? And there was 450,000 American, bikers on their Harleys and their Indians and their whatevers tooling around there because they wanted to celebrate America. Well, sure, a bunch of them are probably going to catch a bug or two from something. Maybe some of them will be coronavirus, but you're going to catch bugs anyway. So they went anyway. They decided, and nobody was wearing a mask. Is anybody saying anything about that? Anyway, back to these peaceful protests. What was most interesting about this is that the protests were worldwide, hundreds of thousands of people protesting, huge protests in big cities, okay? But guess what? None of them were reported over here on the big news outlets. Think of the big news outlets. ABC, CBS, NBC, even Fox. Did you see any of this stuff reported on any of the news? No. Because it's not convenient for America political processes to, especially because a lot of this information here, this kind of reporting, it was propagated through basically Google, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay? And guess what? Google, YouTube, Facebook, ABC, CBS, all those people, they don't want the American people to even consider the possibility that it might be okay to not wear a mask. So these folks censored it. Censorship. These folks here are all run by hardcore left-wing wannabe commies. They want to be part of the CCP. As you know from last week, I told you how Google and Facebook were caught red-handed connecting massive internet cables from the United States directly to China. They were caught out. And so they were forced to retract. And so now they've connected the cables to Taiwan. And from there, it has to go through Taiwan before it can ever get to China. And guess what? Taiwan is a friend of America. Anyway, I wanted to mention all that stuff. Okay? All of this stuff is deeply disturbing, but none of it surprises me, given all of this stuff here, all of this stuff here, all of this stuff here, and here, and here. The massive upheaval. Over here, the Mars and Aries, these are the people who are saying, you know, screw you, screw you, screw you. And that's what they did. And it's going to keep going for months. I already mentioned that bizarre thing about the New Zealand cattle ship sinking. 5,800 cows died within about an hour because the ship sank. How sick is that? Is that ship sinking part of the food processing, food terrorism act that's going on right now? Is that all Oh, actually, let me go over here to the environmental stuff. Uranus in Taurus, okay? Uranus in Taurus relates very closely to Earth and the environment. Taurus is the most earthy of Earth signs. Uranus in Taurus is not happy, okay? Uranus in Taurus is busting up, exploding. You know, Uranus is the planet of surprises. Or, you know, hold on. So, you know, Uranus is kind of represents shock, surprises, spontaneous miracles, spontaneous awakening, the energy of science, the energy of thought, the energy of like internet, computers, smartphones, outer space, space travel, all these amazing things that are connected with the mind-boggling awakening energies of Uranus. Uranus is the very first of the three impersonal planets. We cannot see Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto without very, very powerful telescopes. So for most people, the energies of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto remain unconscious. But some people who go deep diving into the love thyself phenomenon, you start to become familiar with the energies of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And what you discover is that Uranus is miraculous. It just comes there out of the blue like, what was that? Oh, wow, hey. It's that kind of energy. Or like, what was that? Ow, hey, whatever. Depending on the aspects in your chart and so on. So that's kind of what's happening right now with planet Earth. Have you noticed over the last few years there's been a massive increase of volatility in the environment? Earthquakes, fires, tornadoes, floods, bizarre weather patterns, extreme bizarre weather patterns that are just baffling and confounding the weathermen and economies across the world. I mean, like parts of China over the last few months, massive flooding, massive fires in South Australia. I think it was Love Tribe or who pointed it out. Was it a coincidence that those massive fires in Australia matched a direct pathway for a new high-speed train track? You know, I'm thinking governmental arson. Planet Earth does not like being abused. Planet Earth is being abused. Uranus is saying effing nuff. Okay? So that's what's happening right now. So there's a lot of violence, extreme, explosive stuff going on. The worse it gets for planet Earth over the next, I would say, 5 years or so for Uranus and Taurus. The worse it gets, the more extreme and bizarre and violent and shocking we're going to have in terms of weather events, the movement of tectonic plates, all of that kind of stuff. And that, again, is going to coincide with parallel shocks in the global financial system over the next few years. So please be aware of that. I wanted to go back over here. Give me a second. Okay, so I just wanted to go over these things. It's happening right now. You can't not notice it. Okay, for example, I am live streaming right now from Las Vegas. It was a very bizarre period over the last few days because over here in sunny Las Vegas, I don't know if you can see this, there's Las Vegas, there's California. And there were massive fires over here. In fact, there have been about 50 there's a lot more than that. A tremendous number of fires all over here in California, and the prevailing weather mostly goes like this. So the last couple of days, Las Vegas has been covered in a thick, brown, putrid haze. Okay? That's all from over here. That's 300 miles away. And there are places over here where they can still detect the smoke and the haze from the California fires. Anyway, what I wanted to get to is that in the last day or so, I don't know if you noticed it, but we had a massive cold front coming through here. And so in Las Vegas, I said at the start of the video, day before yesterday, it was 114 degrees, and today it's about 82. That's crazy. So what happened? Huge weather shift, and all of that weather came over here. The winds changed direction, and it blowed away the junk and the crap, and now we have really clear skies. But that'll change again soon enough. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, I want to go on some more rants here. I want to get this out of my system. Keep you guys going. Oregon's burning too. I did not know that. Oh, God. Africa is in deep trouble. Yeah. Africa, there's a lot of destruction happening right around here north of the equator. There's still a lot of destruction of rainforest happening around here. And China is doing everything they can to force Argentina to build out these massive pig farms. Huge, enormous pig factory farms to supply pork to China. And for this thing to happen, they're basically bribing the government over here. We'll give you astronomical amounts of money as politicians to give permission for China to move into Argentina and build these massive pig farms, which means obliterating huge amounts of forest and arable land to create these pig farms. And then we're going to grow huge amounts of corn to feed these pigs to send pork back to China, because they have massive food crises over here. They've lost huge amounts of their crops over here and over here because of flooding over here and fires and drought over here. So China is in deep doo-doo. Plus, the deeper doo-doo they get into with all the wars they're fighting over here, thugs and bullying, they're being extremely violent, the worse it gets for China. And the more and more the Chinese people are saying, screw you, CCP. So things are getting ugly here. So what I'm sensing is that, let me go back to this. There's one thing I want to mention over about Joshua here. So what's happening is that there's a fracture opening up between the United States and China. And there's a new alliance that is forming now between the United States, India, Australia, and Japan. It's called the Quad. Okay, I don't know how to do that. Okay, it's It's called the Quad. Okay? This Quad is basically a brand new alliance, sort of like a NATO alliance with Europe, where America, Australia, India, and Japan are forming a powerful alliance to counteract all the evils of China. It's happening right now. This is very new and it's happening. And here's a reason why you do not want to be over here in China. The Chinese people are basically waking up. They are waking up, people. China people are waking up, just like some of the American people are waking up and saying, enough of the bullshit. Enough of the bullshit. Because what's happening in China right now, the next step in evolution in the Chinese Communist Party, is that they're creating this, what they call the civilization code. You know, we already had the social wellness code, or whatever it's called, the social score, and that's happening through the new China's central bank digital currency. So what's happening now, they're creating not only the central bank digital currency with China, and they're also creating the same thing with their healthcare. They're basically forcing people with their phones to have to record everything about their health. And they're linking the health code with the CBDC code, and they're correlating it into one massive code called the civilization code. And this civilization code is measured by the CCP. Where's the CCP? They're measured by the CCP, and it's how they keep track of the people. And basically enough people in China are saying there is no privacy anymore. The CCP is taking control of everything in your life, your health, your finance, and there's nowhere to go. You don't have any rights anymore in China. It's absolutely disgusting what's happening over there, and they call it the civilization code. And they measure it statistically. They measure it. And if you have been discovered to be below the allowable, acceptable threshold to be civilized, according to their code, then you will be disappeared, arrested, punished, jailed for anything like the typical thing that they use to arrest people is saying, causing a nuisance or disrespecting the CCP. If you do anything like that, you're going to have extreme pain if you're Chinese. So that's very, very scary. That's happening right now. The civilization code is happening right now. You can check Joshua Phillips for that if you want. Okay? It is evil. It is evil personified times a billion. Okay? The next stuff I want to do is kind of about the... let me just finish some planetary things here, and then I'm going to go on about money. Okay? Hold on. Let me take... I need to get some water. Hold on. Very thirsty. Give me a second. So, the next 10 days or so are really kind of filled with turbulence and upheaval regarding the planets. Okay, there's a lot of shifting going on with the planets right now, and that affects the whole world, and it affects each one of us as an individual. So it's up to you how you make what you make out of it. I'm not sure what to suggest, really, because it's so much. With 6 retrogrades happening, with Jupiter going direct, okay, and then we're going to have a Jupiter, I got to check something, but there's a really, really challenging aspect coming up. Jupiter... Oh, sorry, it's over here. There's a big, basically sometime, I think it's around the 19th or something, we're going to have a really, really hard freaking square, okay, between Jupiter and a couple of, I think it's the Aries-Libra axis. So just watch out for that. Jupiter is going to be going direct, okay? So that might feel like a breath of fresh air, but what it can also do is release a sense of goodwill that could be, I would say, abused by the powers that be. So there might be an increase in what they call irrational exuberance, like the powers that be might start thinking, my God, it's amazing. There actually is a chance, there really is a chance that we're going to be able to get away with global domination, world domination. The new world order. We're going to take over. It's going to be the CCP as America. We're going to create China-Erica. That's what we're trying to do here. And they see hope that this could happen. Well, it's not going to happen while I'm alive, for sure. There is no China-Erica, okay? It's not allowed. Jupiter square Mars. Maybe that's the one, yeah. So, yeah, okay, here's the date I wanted to point out, yes. There's something coming up. It's a little while from now, but I noticed it, so please watch out. September 19th could be really super, hyper stressful, okay? It's between Aries, Libra as the axis, and then Capricorn in the middle, okay? And it's a big fat T-square. Mars, Mercury, against all the Capricorn energy over there. Okay, just wanted to point that out. For right now, today on this show, we're very lucky. We still have a big, fat, grand, loose Earth trine. We still have that, so you might as well make the most of it and take it gently. Be grateful. See that as a very stabilizing influence to all the destabilizing stuff that's going on. Sorry, let me go back over to here. Okay, we can come back to that. Anyway, here's the thing. As you know, I'm very curious about money, big money, personal money, whatever it is. As you know, some of you might know, we're heading into a new world of global finance. Does this mean anything to you? CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currencies. That's what's happening, okay? It's already started in China. They're already primed up in Europe with the European Central Bank. The United States is already ready, but they haven't told anybody yet. Everything is poised right now. There is going to be some kind of global consensus point, some moment in time. I believe it will happen after the American elections on November 3rd, sometime after that. I believe there will be a moment in time, a calendar moment, where CBDC will be, the green light will go on, and every major central bank, every major government on earth will start to release and activate its central bank digital currency. And eventually that will lead into the USA. And the USA is already poised. We have something called, it's very, very cute. It's called FedNow. Okay, FedNow. Doesn't that sound nice? It sort of sounds like PayPal or Hulu or Netflix or something like that. Okay? It sounds really cute. And they have nice logos and they make it look pretty. Really pretty. The USA has something called FedNow that is poised to be released on to the human public in America. I think it is not only poised, I think of it as poison. The FedNow is basically the American version of the Chinese thing that's already happening. The Chinese version is that every transaction eventually goes through one single central bank. That's why they call it CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. In America, it's called FedNow. So what will happen is the FedNow thing will be released where everybody in America is issued with a FedNow account. That to me is not just poised, it's poison. Okay? It equals poison. That means there's nowhere to hide. That means the American federal government is watching you from every angle of your life, every penny that you spend coming in and out of your life, from your job, going to the 7-Eleven, paying your bills, buying presents for your children, saving money in your IRAs and 401ks. Everything is now collected in a massive database called FedNow. I know, it's so cute. They care so much. They care so much about you. They're just trying to help you. Screw that. So there's enough people in the world who are starting to smell all of this bullshit. Okay? This is not going to go away. Everybody on Earth is going to have to get used to the idea that we're going to have CBDC. It's not going away. So the problem for the regular people, the dumb people, the little people, is how are you going to get around this? How are you going to get out of it? Why do you think so many people are turning to Bitcoin or gold to try and escape, to try and protect yourself? How are you going to protect your money, your privacy, yourself, your person? I think kind of like Lynette Zan. I think kind of like Peter Schiff. I think like the Bearable Bull. I think about these people. They're all, just like me, they're all terrified of this. To me, this is financial terrorism. To me, this is financial tyranny. This is absolute communism to the millionth power, multiplied 1,000,000 times. Okay? This is terrifying. Just imagine when we have the FedNow and it's connected to our own healthcare app. Are we going to have our own civilization code inside America? Where if you do not behave according to the code, someone will come knocking on your door, just like they do in Australia. And you might have thought Australia was a free country. No, not anymore. They'll come knocking on your door and they'll say, "Excuse me, we've noticed that your civilization code is below optimal. We're going to put you away." Okay? That's what they're trying to do. That's what the American federal government and the American Federal Reserve are trying to do to we the people. Now, as you know, I don't like that. I don't want to live that way. So, there is a countermeasure that is happening, and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's all to do with nature, and God bless the planets, all the beautiful planets, for what they're doing and how they're doing it. Just because this is happening and it's being manufactured by the oligarchs, manufactured terrorism, global financial tyranny, it's all being manufactured according to the 8 steps of how to create a communist world as written by Saul Alinsky. And it's basically Marxism, Leninism, and Chinese communism all squashed into one. And there are people inside America, I guarantee there are people inside America who are salivating the delicious thought of this happening, because then they can join the club of global abusers. Well, we have a constitution inside the United States which allows us to hold our leaders accountable, and we can get rid of them. We can get rid of them if we want to. The problem is that most Americans are too comfortable to want to raise arms or revolt or to depose the power maniacs over here and here and here and here. Because it means war. It means revolution. Okay? Think back to 1776. Okay? It took decades for America to get to the point where they said enough is enough. We are no longer beholden to the monarchs and the tyrannists from over here in Great Britain. We're going to start our own world based on humanitarian principles, and we're going to call it the Constitution. We're going to declare independence. And in 1786 or whatever it was, 82, they drafted the Constitution about how this thing is going to actually work. So we still have a Constitution, and we still have rights that no one else on earth has. So if America goes down, everyone else goes down. If we go down, if we turn into some communist, disgusting, totalitarian dictatorship, all of this goes down, 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 all of this goes down. So what side do you want to be on? Do you want to be there or do you want to be there? It's your choice. I know where I want to be. Anyway, so that's happening right now. All the evil pressure that's coming from the shadow expression of Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter in Capricorn is being met and opposed by the bright expression of this energy, like the people who want to live with honest money, genuine governance, true power. Okay? So I see revolution building up. I see global revolution building up over the next 20 years, especially when Pluto enters Aquarius over here at about 2024, and we're going to get the precursors. We're going to get the precursors when Jupiter and Saturn move into Aquarius in 2021. Okay? We're not there yet. We still have several months to go. But the energy of revolution is building up. So, what are we the people doing to counter this? Okay? To me, this is evil. But it's not going to go away. What are we going to do about it? People are looking at Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. They're looking at gold. They're looking at DeFi, decentralized finance. This is all very, very new stuff. It's mostly considered the world of cryptocurrencies. Crypto sounds creepy. It's actually very beautiful. There's some amazing things going on in this world. I'm very interested in it because I prefer to live on this side of the equation rather than this side. I might look like dumb money. I might be innocent. I might just be one of we the people. I'm not one of these people. I want to be on this side. So I'm studying and learning everything I can to get as far away from these people. I want to be as far away from this as possible, even though none of us can escape. We're going to have a foothold in this somehow, so we have to get used to it. So I'm learning everything that I can over here. So this is already happening, okay? The Fed now, privacy will be destroyed. Whatever privacy you think you have right now will be destroyed, okay? So you have to find other ways to create privacy and sovereign self-energy. For example, the perversions that are going on in America with the Federal Reserve are so devastating for other countries. You know, America uses the dollar as a weapon. Venezuela is almost completely converting to Bitcoin right now because they don't have anything else that they can do. There's a new thing in cryptocurrencies called Celo. And what it is, it's basically money to money that is being made available to hundreds of millions of people in Africa because they don't have access to banks or banking or IDs or driving licenses. So what they're doing, there's a humanitarian campaign that is issuing millions of simple, cheap smartphones to millions of African people with the Celo system programmed into it. And it's basically a form of cryptocurrency that can operate completely outside of the banking system. Completely 100% outside. Okay? And what will happen is that it creates an ecosystem where people who want to do business with each other, like buy and sell food, candy, work or employment or whatever, they can exchange money, invest, save, borrow, lend, all through the Celo system. It's freaking mind-boggling, okay? It's very, very new. I don't know if it'll be, on the news anywhere soon, but it is happening, okay? Bitcoin is already active. Many people have heard of that. The next question is DeFi. The DeFi is a new movement. It's already in the like germinating. But eventually what's going to happen is DeFi is the ultimate countermeasure to this. Okay? Okay? These people here, Bitcoin, gold, Cello, DeFi, they are the enemy of CBDC. They are the enemy of FedNow. FedNow knows that. So guess what? Next year, you're going to see it inside the United States. You're going to see it on the front of your tax form. Right on the front page, you're going to see a blue line that says, what are you doing with your cryptocurrencies? Check this box over here if you have anything to do with cryptocurrencies, because we're going to tax you. We're going to invade your privacy to find out what you're doing over here. We, this FedNow, are going to impose ourselves on you, the people over here, because we don't like what you're doing to try and protect and defend yourself, your privacy, your money, your assets, your resources, your family, your integrity, your rights, your constitutional rights. We don't like that. So we are going to interfere. And if you refuse to comply, we are going to hold you accountable. We are going to brand you as a bad person. So it's a scary thing right now what's happening. Basically, DeFi is what's happening. DeFi is decentralized finance. Decentralized finance, which is very similar to what they're already doing with Cello. DeFi is trying to go global. Okay? It's trying very hard to go global. And I think it's a question of adoption. If enough people get involved in this world of DeFi, that means new financial structures, new global communication systems. The more and more and more people adopt DeFi, the harder and harder it is for the FedNow and all the CBDCs to fight this. So I don't know about you, but this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be. I don't want anything to do with this. To me, this is evil. Okay? Yeah. Thank you, Nikki. I just saw that. Yeah. So let me just put that up there. We talked about South African money. I talked about Venezuela. There are a lot of other countries that are in deep doo-doo like Venezuela, and they're all turning to Bitcoin. I think I told you last week, there's a Bitcoin vending machine at the local 7-Eleven here just down the street. It sits right next to the ATM. Okay, it looks like this. I'll show you. Okay, there's your typical 7-Eleven, okay? It looks like that. And then there's a counter over here with some glass. And then there's somebody back in the counter over here. Hello, how can I help you? And they're wearing a mask, of course. And then you have a little window. And this is all plastic because you're not allowed to breathe on them. You can't touch them. And so here's the counter. And then there's the little machines where you put your money. And then there's all the soda and the food and the snacks over there, okay? And then there's everybody with their social distancing notices, 6 feet apart. And over in the corner, right here, is the ATM machine, okay? This is ATM. You know, people go there, they put their debits and credit cards in, and they pull out $20 or $100 or something, so they can go and gamble it, or they can get some cash in their pocket. Because some people still like to have cash in their pocket. Okay, so guess what? At that 7-Eleven, there's another machine right here. And guess what? Bitcoin. Okay, see that? There is a 7-Eleven right here in Las Vegas, just down the street, that looks just like this. Somebody can walk up to there, and if you're into Bitcoin, you can go right over there. You can buy and sell Bitcoin over there. You can put it in. You can, however you want to do it. It's freaking mind-boggling, okay? So there we have it. I think I've checked off every box of all the rants that I wanted to do. As you can see, I think we've covered everything in the world. We've talked about everything today that we could possibly talk about. Okay? Well, there's more. I mean, you've got your stuff going on, stuff in your world. We're right in the thick of it right now. We're heading up to a pressure cooker moment in American history. November 3rd is going to be cataclysmic. Mostly because of the presidential American election, but there's also going to be a lot of planetary alignments around that time that are very, let's say, unstable. So please expect a lot of shock, awe, upheaval, protests, chaotic news broadcasts. Okay, all of that's going to happen. And of course, it's perfectly normal. Everything that's happening right now is exactly as it should be. Why? How is that so? It's because it can't be any other way. Okay? Today is Wednesday, 9th of September 2020. We're talking about the Planetary Reboot. It's happening right now, real-time people. It is crazy times for all of humanity. If you haven't noticed yet, it's time you need to wake up and be aware. Your life is being upended. The whole of humanity is being upended. We will still have roads, trains, bridges. There will be shops, houses, and cars. We'll still buy clothes. There'll still be gasoline. There will be food of some kind. But most especially, the global financial system is being completely shredded. It's imploding. And a new global financial system is going to blossom over the next, especially over the next 4 years. A lot of upheaval. And then for the next 18 to 20 years, as Pluto goes through Aquarius, there's going to be massive revolutionary changes in global financial systems, computers, communications, technology, science. It's going to change the whole freaking world. We can't even think about it right now or describe it. They're even talking about NDB, nuclear diamond batteries, self-charging nuclear diamond batteries. I mean, it's freaking mind-boggling what's happening out there. Recycling nuclear waste to create new power that's harmless, and they're actually saving the environment. Can you imagine that? Talk about a disruptor. Okay, I think I've ranted enough here. So, I kind of made my points. I've got a few things across that I wanted to get across. I hope it's helping you in some way, form, or another. If anybody wants a consultation, go to terraillumination.com and you can, set up a meeting or whatever. There's a way you can get a reading. You can get a Terra Illumination reading. It's actually quite fun. So anyway, I'm going to leave it like that. I know some of you have noticed, maybe that's another show, but it's already happening. Like over at the local, there's a big grocery chain, a national grocery chain over here. I checked out with the guy the other day, and he said, we don't do coins anymore. It's gone. You can do paper money, and then you have to round things up through a card or whatever it is. It's very, very strange what's happening, people. But it's normal. Everything is exactly as it should be. Everything that is collapsing, imploding, dissolving, all the fake BS that's being exposed, all the tyranny, all the bizarre abuse, all those pedophile abusers, all the financial abusers, all the governance abusers, it's all being exposed. You got to reveal it to heal it. So that's what's happening right now. The sun is opposing Neptune. It's like having a huge flashlight, okay, pointing on Neptune. And we're exposing the shadow side of Neptune. The fakery, the illusions, the lies, the deceptions, deceit, betrayal, the sickness and the perversion and the disease that goes with it. It's fine. It's perfect. That's what we need. You have to reveal it to heal it. So now we're kind of back to the beginning of the video again. So I hope this made sense to everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hopefully, with God willing, we'll be here next Wednesday. Come and hang out. Please become a member. I'm trying to earn new memberships. Oh, by the way, Who was it who recommended? GC? I don't know if GC, if you're still here. I think it was GC, has been really urging me personally to start a new channel. It'll be called Terra Illumination. As far as I know, I can create my own channel called Terra Illumination. I have the rights to that name, so to speak. And I can reboot it, but it's like starting from scratch. So what would happen is, if we do this, I'm really scared because it's incredibly hard to run a YouTube channel. My notification, like some of the big channels that I like, they have about a 10, 20, 30% notification rate. Okay? My channel has about a 1% notification rate. I'm on a very, very tight stranglehold leash from the powers that be. They don't want me to grow. So they can't shut me down because I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not abusing the community guidelines. They just don't want me to grow anymore. So I'm sick of it. So I'm thinking of actually starting a new channel. That means literally starting from scratch. So you might see Terra Illumination doing a lot of bizarre videos saying, hey everybody, you need to subscribe, like, press the bell, become a member now. All that promotional stuff to try and start a new channel. So I'm just giving you a heads up. I might have to do some of that hardcore marketing and promotion stuff, because you have to grow very quickly to get to 1,000. You need 1,000 subscribers as fast as possible. And then you have to spend the next, I guess, few months, few years growing. You have to get to the point for Terra Illumination to be truly, truly viable, so that, I can actually function as Terra Illumination. I need about 100,000 subscribers, okay? That's a lot of subscribers. So what I'm going to be doing is, if I actually do this, I'm kind of scared because it's taken me years just to get to where we are now. But I'm sick of the oppression. I'm sick of the suppression. I want freedom of speech. I want to grow. I've learned how to stay within the community guidelines. And I've learned how to attract fewer and fewer trolls or abusers. So just watch this space. I don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, but for this to really, really work, we have to start from 0, and then we have to reach 1,000 subscribers ASAP, and then from there we have to go on a march. It'll be a long march, but we have to get to 100,000. I know it sounds crazy. We go to 10,000 first, then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, but typically with YouTube channels, if they're good channels, the bigger they get, the bigger they get. Okay? So it's a question of creating momentum. The starting is the hardest part. It's just like trying to push a boulder uphill, okay? But it can be done. I've done it before. So just letting you know, okay? So tell your friends and family, hey, you need to subscribe to Terra Illumination, the new Terra Illumination. That's probably what it's going to look like. I hope it works. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let's see. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm just going to check through the chat, see who's here. Nikki, looks like you've been very active there. Hello, Love Triber. Hello, Star Girl, a.k.a. GC. Got it. Let's have a look. Okay, so there's just a couple of you who have been... Oh, there's Goddess Dragon Tarot. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. There's Ivona. I see Ivona. Stargirl, I got you. Who have I missed? Have I missed anybody? I just want to say... There's Brittany Sanderson. I don't know if you're still here, but hello. And thank you, Stargirl, for the donation. And thank you, Nikki, for the donation. You're very kind. I think that's it. I'm going to go back over here, re-scroll the chat. Okay. Anyway. Have a blessed day, everybody. Love thyself. Own it first, okay? Ask for the healing power of love to fill your body from up above. Ask for the healing power of love to fill your mind from up above. Ask for the healing power of love to fill your heart from up above. Ask for the healing power of love to fill your soul from up above. Then you own it. When you own it, you are now officially a transceiver. You can transmit and receive the healing power of love. You have to receive the healing power of love first. You have to consider yourself ready, worthy, and able to receive and accept and own the healing power of love. It's harder than it seems, okay? Are you worthy? Are you deserving? Are you open to receive? Are you ready? Are you willing? Are you able to receive? Think about it. So you get that inside you by invocation. Then you own it here. Okay? You own it. Then you can transmit. You can actually do the thing where it's be loving and be loved. You are loving, you are loved. You get it? It's simple. It's like physics. Be loving, be loved. When you are loving, you are loved. Get it? Simple. Simple's not easy, but you got to start somewhere. Okay, bye-bye everybody. SD, who's that? Who's that? SD. Sorry, it's too late now. Gotta go. Gonna play a piece of, we're gonna just disappear. Okay? Disappear into the galaxies. Okay? And say farewell.